Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how to use tokens as scene items, vehicles, props, whatever you can think of within AboveVTT. So I have some tokens set up here. I have an object like a crate that, of course, maybe you want your player to interact with, or you want to add to the scene for a little bit of flavor. I would not build out your scenes with props this way. If you need to add a bunch of different things, I would use a map maker program instead of this VTT, because each token you add will add a little bit of data that needs to be processed on your computer, and it's just not necessary if you need to add a bunch of different things. Go ahead and do that in map maker and then import that image instead. But moving on here, if we go ahead and edit this information, you can see I have it set up different sizes, but if I go down to the override token options, I set the token style to definitely not a token. And what this will do will remove all the HP, the AC, and it'll make it so the image has no constraints as well. So it works great with like transparent PNGs like this crate image I have here. And additionally, what that setting will do will place it below the darkness of the scene too. So if you have vision and light set up on your scene, like I do, on the left-hand side you can see the DM view, on the right-hand side is the player's view. As the player moves into view of that token, you can see it becomes visible, just like the scene image below, as his line of sight becomes um, in line with it. And you can see down here this giant token is fully visible as his dark vision sight becomes within its range, and that's because it doesn't have those settings on it. I could go ahead as the DM and change it so that I move that below the darkness too, and it would work the same as that. It's a nice feature and it looks really cool. It doesn't have any kind of jarring effects, and it makes it so that things don't stand out directly to players if you don't want them to. I could go into this crate if I wanted to and add a note and tell players what they find in there. So maybe there's 500 gold pieces, a ruby, and a brooch of shielding or something like that. And if I want to go a step further and actually go ahead and link what the brooch of shielding is to my players in here, I can copy the URL from D&D Beyond, go to Insert Edit Link after I highlight that text, paste that URL, and then down to Class, go to DDB Tooltip Link. And what that will do is when I preview the link, or the note rather, it'll show this tooltip of what the item is, and I can send that to the game log. I can go a step further, even copy the image address of that brooch of shielding, and maybe I don't want to tell them what it is, but I just want to show them so that they can try to identify it as they will. I'll go into Insert Edit Image here and paste that source. From here I can change my constraints. I'm going to half it. And keep the proportions, and there we go. If I preview that, you can see it looks great in there. And now I can maybe this player breaks open this crate, and I can now click, make it visible to players, and now he can click or hover over that note and you can see what exactly is in that treasure chest or that crate. So that's one way that we can utilize this. Another way could be with vehicles, like Spelljammer ships or boats or whatever. So I've been playing a Spelljammer campaign. I bought this set from a creator on DM's Guild. I'll drop a link of the set in the description for this video. And you can see here this ship is selectable, movable, and it looks like it's a, a perfect ship for this map. If I right click it, I even went ahead a step further and I set a stat block for it too. On the Spelljammer books, they have all the stat blocks for these ships. So I just copy and pasted that into the edit custom stat block area for this ship here, and kind of formatted it a little bit. If I go and go to formats, there's these custom stat blocks or containers. You can set the stat block style with 1 column, 2 columns. Um, and I went in here and edited and added some information to added this blunt ram after the party, added that to the ship. And if I go ahead and preview this, you can see everything in here is rollable and it works great. One thing to note when doing vehicles and stuff, instead of setting the size to like you can go into token size and set a custom size and then just do like the amount of feet that it is. So this ship is 140 feet. I'll go ahead and set that, and then I'll place that token on the scene. You can see when I click that, this has this. Let me go ahead and hide the player side. If I click this, you can see it's got this massive selectable box around it. It's really obnoxious if I'm trying to just like click right over here off the scene, but I end up clicking the token, or yeah, and I end up just clicking the token. You can see on this one, it only has this selectable box directly in the center here. The way you set that up is by setting the token to gargantuan, and from there you go ahead and scale it as you need to. So gargantuan's 20 feet, right? So 20 times 7 would give me that 140 feet. If I go ahead and place that onto the scene, you can see it's at 140 feet, and that selectable box is just in the center there. It's not all around here. See, if I click right here, it even gets this token down here. It's really obnoxious. So I really recommend setting to gargantuan and then scaling from there rather than setting the custom feet size. And let's show you one more quick way that I have utilized these tokens in a fun kind of way. I used the Spirit board from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft when the book first came out a couple of years ago in a campaign we were running then, and I went ahead and set up this planchet as a token. And let's see if I can find this on here real quick. And in here, you can see I have it set to huge. I said it's definitely not a token, so it has no constraint styles or anything like that. And it's a transparent PNG, so inside that center of the whole of the planchet, when I move it around, I can see underneath of it the spirit board. This is a lot of fun if you end up doing a spirit board session, right, or anything like that. Is so you as a DM can move this, and your players will see it sliding across their screen just like a spirit or a ghost is pushing it. So yeah, something like this is just it's very cool. It's very, very fun to think of creative ways to utilize tokens within your game. And if you have any questions of, or ideas that you may need help figuring out how to utilize these tokens in that capacity, feel free to drop a question or comment down below, and I'd love to help you out even further.